Hello and welcome to Super Switch Headz, the premier Nintendo podcast in all of the internet. My name is Matthew Stoner.
My name is Patrick Nisley.
My name is David Howe.
And joining us for this episode is Becky Rodriguez.
Hello,
Hey!
Becky. How you doing today?
Doing well.
Oh, very good, very good. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
It's an honor.
Oh, it's honored.
Stop. Keep going. You are here to talk about the Direct that happened last week, so thank you for being here. So in this episode, we'll talk about the Direct, get hyped about that, as well as some HAL Laboratory hirings, some Joy-Con patents, as well as Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles and the latest Switch system update 9.0.0.
That's just a brief rundown of the news, baby.
man.
There's a lot of stuff going on top of the Direct.
News. There really is. Yeah, this episode is going to be long.
It
Strap
might,
yourself in.
it might be.
Before we start, we got a shout out, Matt and I, on the day of the Direct. We did a live reaction video. It was our first foray into the wild world of YouTube content creation. And we got some nice comments. Krakow said that they were also hyped for Little Town Hero. So that's really nice.
Yeah, if you want to see my reaction to a release date for Little Town Hero,
That's probably worth it alone.
Yeah.
We both kind of flipped out because I thought it was going to be January for sure.
I thought it was dead.
This was a really good,
I honestly did.
One of the I'm glad that y'all did this without me, because this was a good Direct for y'all. I felt like.
You think so?
We'll talk about why.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
later, but
Wow.
I think so. There's a lot of town, Xenoblade.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely get into it. That's gonna be in the second half of the episode. We've got enough news that has happened post Direct for us to talk about.
Yeah. So launching into that, quick follow up from last week. David, you can talk about this maybe a little bit, but Metacritic took down some of the reviews we were talking about last week.
Yeah. We had a little discussion on the merits and ethics of review bombing last week. As you might have heard, a lot of disgruntled PlayStation and Xbox owners were review bombing Astral Chain, basically because it was a Nintendo exclusive, and Metacritic did the right thing and deleted every single one of them. So don't review bomb, kids, because A, it doesn't matter, and B, it'll get taken down anyway. So that's just a little update to that's a nice happy ending to a story we did last week.
So that's my new way to laugh.
That was a fun laugh.
So
Hey, during that segue, thank you for listening. Please tell a friend about Super Switch Headz.
Hell yeah. We're all over the place.
A little begging from Mr. Matthew Stoner. That's me.
Matt, you mentioned this in the intro, but how laboratory? I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying
It's laboratory.
It's HAL laboratory.
You're in a funny mood, Becky. I love it.
Patrick, are you okay?
No.
Okay.
Has some postings on their website that they're hiring for a new Kirby game. So that's not surprising because they make lots of Kirby games.
Yeah, that's pretty much exclusively what they make, right?
Yeah. But there's some news for you. I am in a goofy mood.
Are you high?
No. I don't do drugs, but if I did, I'd do them before this podcast.
I don't do drugs, but if I did, I'd be Matthew Stoner.
I play VR.
All right, I'll calm down, y'all.
Okay.
Nintendo put out this really bizarre video of sort of teasing out a new accessory, and they show people all around the world, from Japan to Spain to Dallas. Texas.
So exotic.
Oh, yeah, Dallas, the most exotic city of them all.
Yeah, the North American world's city. We got LA, New York, Dallas, Texas.
Also, I noticed in Dallas, they were all wearing like jeans with big belt
nice
buckles.
Wrangler jeans, tucked in dress shirts.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Where everybody is using what we presume to be a new accessory. And in fact, they said at the very end of this video that there's going to be more info on September 12th, which is a day or two after this comes out. Mm-hmm. So y'all might know more by now if you're listening, but everybody is like, what the fuck is this circular device these people are playing with?
Right.
Well, if you do Pilates, or your wife does, you might know that is a magic circle or a Pilates resistance ring.
Yeah, like a resistance ring, right.
So that's what that is, and we'll see what this is, but it sounds like, best guess, new Switch exercise game?
I'd have to imagine so, because
Or
it
that's
wasn't.
partly
It
what it's
wasn't
for?
just the resistance ring. It was also because basically
You're right.
it was a
There's a
resistance
secondary
ring.
part.
Right. It was a resistance ring that had a Joy-Con that would slot
One
into
Joy-Con
it,
goes
right?
into that one.
And then there was another one that was like a leg strap, basically.
Right.
So you would strap like basically the right Joy-Con, it would seem, to your leg, and so I guess it can track where you are, and then also. I don't really know how it's going to measure resistance with that band.
Well, but a lot of the things that they are doing in those videos are Pilates things.
Right.
Like where they're laying down and holding it, or like, I almost want to get up and demonstrate, but y'all can't see me.
You can do it. All right, he's
but-
doing it right now.
I think you can describe it. Yeah, go ahead. Describe it.
Describe it with your body.
The things they're doing in the video, just go watch the video. A lot of those, or go like Google a video of somebody using a Pilates magic circle or
Oh, I already
resistance
have.
ring.
Okay, so this is like it's a circle accessory that you like squeeze from each side.
Among other things, you kind of use it like just in stretching and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask though, is it like related to Wii Fit? Maybe.
I think
what it
that's
feels
what
like.
it is.
Yeah, we don't really know. All they've said is that it's a new experience coming to Nintendo Switch. I think that's the copy that they used.
I bet it's going to launch around holiday, and it's going to be a new
'Cause some of
Switch,
those-
like the Wii Fit, Switch
Yeah,
Fit, basically.
some of those poses remind me of like yoga poses.
Sure.
And I mean, they're obviously like kind of mimicking some of the yoga poses that I've seen in like the game.
There was, in addition to the Pilates and yoga stuff, there were also like using the resistance band as like a bow and arrow sort of thing. So that's very kind of Wii Sports-ish. I think like, we don't really know. Like, obviously, I think the first thing everybody jumps to is like a Wii Fit style game, right? And that makes sense. And I think that would sell like fucking hotcakes.
with some mini games, maybe.
Right, with some mini games. Basically, it looks like plastic Labo.
Speaking of more bizarre Nintendo contraptions, there was a Nintendo filed patent in Japan that went public for a hinged Joy-Con that attaches to the Switch just like a regular Joy-Con, but sort of the top portion can bend back. This is a less so than the circular device, which we know is coming because they've talked about it. They can file patents for things and then not do them.
Yeah. Well, this patent was actually filed in, I think, February of last year.
Gotcha, but
right?
it just became public.
Right.
And so
right.
everybody's aware of it now.
Which means that it's probably not coming out,
That's
right?
good possibility, or that, yeah, it's just one of the things they have in the oven or something.
And also, it wasn't actually, it's not that the top half goes straight and then folds down. It's permanently folded down. Like the Joy-Con, it's wider and the top part is angled down, and then it's the railing that hinges so that you can put
Slide it on or
you can
not.
slide it on basically, and then still have it be kind of bent back, right? So it looks like it's some sort of pro Joy-Con. It's kind of
more ergonomic, arguably. And we don't have this in the show notes, but there was also a patent that they filed, and I don't know where this was, or that, again, it is now knowledge about a little, like a VR headset. Have y'all seen this?
Like a plastic
yes,
VR,
just like
not
a solid
cardboard.
piece that's not. Well, yeah, exactly. Which may just be a idea they had that they bailed on, or it might be. Sometimes people file these, or companies file these things to prevent other people from
right.
It's
like Edison would do that all the time. He had like a whole team of patent
Trolls
creators.
is
Yeah,
what they're
patent
called?
trolls, essentially. Yeah. He was like the first patent troll. but yeah, the VR thing I think is really dumb. It's like, it doesn't even strap to your head. It's just like
It's
Labo
basically
without
the
cardboard.
Labo with, but a big
yeah.
piece. So maybe that's something they'll sell as an alternative to Labo, but we'll see. I kind of think nothing's going to come of either of these. Just kind of interesting curiosities.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to be a fly on the wall in Nintendo's R&D department.
Oh, this is a little fun story. Reggie Fils-Aimé is going to Cornell to teach. He's not completely in retirement, you guys.
What's he gonna teach?
Let me see. I
It's
saw
like some sort of corporate economics.
economics, and sorry.
Well, I do know too that it's like it's like open to the public, this first class, so anyone can go. So if you guys want to take a road trip to Cornell,
It says
I'm down.
I'm looking at a Destructoid article that says he will lecture students as the campus's first leader in residence.
okay.
So I don't know what that means.
So like Matthew McConaughey's Minister of
Exact-
Culture.
Exactly.
Reggie's like their
It's just like
leader.
Matthew McConaughey can teach acting, but doesn't have a degree in it or what? Or I guess who knows?
I now need to see Matthew McConaughey and Reggie Fils-Aimé in a room together. It's now something I need in my life.
Giving a joint lecture.
Yeah, giving a joint lecture. Oh, hell yeah.
This is just a quick mention.
We sports.
There's been a big campaign, and I think this maybe started in France, but to get Dragon Quest 1 through 3 on the Switch, and that got a little bit of traction in the past week, which I wouldn't be surprised. I think those games are getting released on other platforms.
No, they're getting released on the Switch.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. So basically, there's in Japan and in
just
Asia.
In Japan, that's what it is.
In Asia. Outside of Japan as well. It's coming out in Asia, basically. And right now you can actually pre-order the game from Play Asia. And the physical copy, like the Asian copy of the game, basically, the physical copy, has English support. So right now there's been no announcement that it's coming to the West.
To have it come to the West, but
Right. And I imagine that it will. But it's like right now, basically, if you want to play it in English, you'd have to buy the physical copy because the Japanese digital copy will only be in Japanese.
Got it.
Right. And this has happened with other games as well. Like, so a lot of times if you want like to play an English version of the game, because they'll have that in the Asian release, you have to get it physically. So hopefully it just comes out. We just get it on the eShop. But I don't know. I'm not going to play Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Personally.
Me either.
What about you, Matt?
Nah.
You guys can't see, but Matt is straight up lounging during this podcast right now.
I got a new chair where I'm more comfortable, and I'm straight up, arms behind my head, lounging.
Yeah, dude. It really affects your mood.
Thanks, so, David,
in a good way.
I want you to talk about this next topic because I read a little bit about it, but my understanding is that there has been an argument put forth on the internet that one of the reasons for the giant slew of releases of Nintendo games in September and in the recent months, because there are a ton of big games coming out in September, is that in Japan the government is they're raising the consumption tax. I believe is the way it's translated often.
Yeah,
which is for the first time in many years.
And for the first time since I think it was 2000. It was like early 2000s, basically. And it's gone from, I think, 6%. No, it's gone from 8% to 10%. Basically.
And that starts in October.
Right. And also because of this, Nintendo Switch Online is getting a price increase in Japan. Basically, a lot of goods and services in Japan are getting more expensive. So that's kind of one of the many theories as to why September is so fucking stacked. Because there's so many games coming out from Nintendo in September.
I read kind of a counter theory being that it's also the end of a quarter or something like that, and maybe that's why. But I don't know that there's any good reason why to release this many games all at once. It just seems nuts.
Are you upset that there are this many games?
I am not
out?
upset because you can always play them later, but there is a little bit of a dang, it's all happening right now. Yeah.
So you're not going to be getting Deus Ex Machina the day it comes out?
No.
Or Deus Ex
Damon
Ex Machina? Yeah.
I'm not going to be getting most of these games the day they come out in September because I just don't have the time.
To add fuel to conspiracy theories, that comment, which originally posted on Reddit, someone was suggesting this, is now deleted.
Really?
I think that's just the overzealous Nintendo Switch Reddit model.
Yeah. Shout out to the excuse me. Shout out to the Nintendo Switch subreddit. They always delete my posts.
Yeah.
They are very aggressive about deleting things over there.
They do not like it when we advertise the show on their subreddit.
But if you're a listener and you want to advertise the show,
please
for
do.
us,
Please do.
Do it in a comment because they will delete your thread. All right. Anyway,
just be like, this is the best podcast about Nintendo. Just do it.
Was it maybe about a year ago or maybe somewhere in the 6 to 9 months ago that all those Final Fantasy games that were old Final Fantasy games that are getting ported over the Switch got announced, and we've had all of them released and gotten released date. I mean, they're all out now, except for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and we just finally got a release date. And this is a remaster too, of January 23rd for 2020. And that did not actually happen in the Direct, which was interesting.
Yeah, that's
I guess
weird.
It's cross-platform. Maybe they wanted to have their own.
Yeah, well, it's also going to be cross-play,
Yes,
correct?
That's right. Between PlayStation and Switch and apparently it's Square that's making a big push for that.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I know Lee Howson was talking about getting some people together when it comes out in January.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited about this game.
I never played it. That was one of the Final Fantasies that I missed. I don't know. When I was younger, I thought kind of the chibi art style was a little below me, I guess.
I think
So
the
never really
remaster
picked
looks
it up.
a little better, though.
Yeah, I think so too. But multiplayer Final Fantasy sounds fun.
Yeah, that's especially if people want to do it. I'm more interested then.
Did you ever play Crystal Chronicles, Becky?
I have not played Final Fantasy games.
Period.
Oh
Yeah.
Well, there's you can start anywhere on the Switch right now.
I think I will.
Yeah.
I mean, now that they're there,
Yeah.
accessibility counts.
Yeah,
it does.
It's really nice to have them all in one place and to be able to play them on the go. Like, it's a perfect, sit on the bus and play a game.
I mean, it doesn't mean that I haven't seen gameplay, though. I mean, when it didn't stop me from playing. I just, backlog issues.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
What about, have you seen Final Fantasy Spirits Within?
Ooh, I saw it in the theater.
Me too.
I saw it in the drive-in.
The Final Fantasy movie is actually pretty awesome. I started watching it again the other day. It's on Amazon Prime.
Does it hold up?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty good. Really good soundtrack. Anytime I've ever made a video and I need some orchestral music, I use the Final
Really?
Fantasy The Spirits Within soundtrack.
Well, that came out about 2000 or 2001 or something.
It was it was the year after Final Fantasy 9 came out. Yeah. So 2001.
I like me a good soundtrack. So
Yeah, it's great.
Make
It's
it on it.
Good
very
music.
dramatic.
And the games too.
Yeah. It's all that shit is on Spotify. Look it up. This is an ad for Spotify.
So on Monday night, the Switch system update 9.0.0 went live, kind of out of nowhere. We got a little hint that it was coming because apparently the Fire Emblem season pass DLC or whatever, expansion pass or whatever, was causing a lot of problems for people, and Nintendo was like, "Well, we're going to release a system update that will fix it." And you're like, and everybody's like, "System update? That's not a game update."
Right.
And then last night, night before we recorded this, it came out, and it happened right while I was playing my Switch too. And I'm like, so I immediately go to look up what happened. What does this update entail?
Themes, folders.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'm not expecting anything. I'm expecting zero, and I was pleasantly surprised by a few things.
Yeah, we got some few big quality of life stuff.
Yeah.
With caveats.
Not the things that you just said.
No. Not the things that everybody wants.
And we don't know what some of this is going to be because it's a lot of stuff that, even though it just got updated, it's still we're waiting for it to be enabled.
Yeah.
And the big one to me is this online play invites. So if you go into your profile, you can see this thing that says online play invites, and you're like, what? How do I do it? And it's certain supported software, you can see invites from people here.
Yeah.
And it's
which was a huge letdown for me because I went there and I was like, oh, great. They did a system-wide invite system that's going to bring them up to par with the other systems, but that's not at all what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still game specific.
And there are no games that support it currently.
Is that true? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is just Splatoon 2 not?
No, there's nothing out that supports it right now. And it's because immediately whenever I saw that, I went to Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo Switch Online. And I was like, surely this will have it because it's kind of their flagship thing right now. And it's online multiplayer focused, but that didn't have it. So yeah, so that's kind of a buzzkill. But I mean, hopefully, some games get patched in the next week or something.
Right. Let's hope updates come. But Overwatch maybe is the big one that might come with support for it.
I mean, it should be in every game.
Agreed.
Also,
I was really disappointed because my Switch, and I don't know if it always does this, and I just happened to be on at the right time, but I got a notification while I was playing Fire Emblem that Mario Maker 2 was server maintenance right then. And this was shortly after this, so I was like, "Are they patching in the Friends update to this?" And then no, it was strictly basic server.
That'll come in 3 years.
So hopefully that will bear out. Some games will get patched, and new games that have multiplayer will have that in it, and we'll be able to actually send invites.
I think the best update that they have is you can now set an alarm on your Switch.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite what it is, though, right? Isn't it in-game alarms can happen?
No, I think you set the time and date that you want an alarm to go off.
But there's also in-game alarms on. It's like your controller will go off as an alarm for a notification, presumably.
What it does is that it uses the LED that's around the home
Right.
button that a lot of people don't even know is on their Joy-Cons and Pro controllers.
And I think people are speculating that this will be for also like alerts. Maybe when you get an online play invite, your LED light will light up and your controller will rumble, vibrate.
I mean, I guess only fucking time will tell.
Yes. Yeah, and people discovered this a long time ago when they used their controllers with their PC. Like everybody realized, oh, there's an LED light on here, and for years we've just been like, when are they going to roll that out?
Well, they had this on the Wii, right? Like the Wii had like a blue, like the disc mouth. Where the mouth you would feed your discs to on your Wii. What do you call that? A
loading slot?
I guess so. Yeah, the mouth
drive.
the disc drive,
disc mouth,
The Nintendo mouth. Put the food inside. It needs to consume.
Oh no.
Anyway, the mouth would light up blue when you would get like notifications, right? And so this has been a thing for a while. It's just like very queer that we haven't gotten it for the Switch until right now.
Also in this was they added touchscreen sensitivity, which I didn't know was an issue, but apparently some people say it is,
It's not.
and that it's much better with this for like using a stylus particularly. And then somewhat interesting too, like QR codes, you can like, I guess, scan a code into to have your profile loaded onto a
Hell
to a
yeah.
Switch.
Yeah, dude. That's what I've always wanted, is to have my Switch, to scan a QR code from my phone on my Switch so I don't have to type in a password.
Yep.
My life is now complete.
Theoretically, it says it's for like events, and maybe you'll get free things at things. We'll see.
I don't know. I think they just shouldn't have released any of this stuff until it was
they were ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's really interesting because it's like, well, when is this gonna work?
This better be compatible with the resistance ring. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
And then just sort of wanted to mention that Tokyo Game Show, a big gaming convention, is happening this week. September 12th to 15th. I don't know that we're going to get a lot of Nintendo announcements at it because of what just happened. And but there will be a lot of gaming announcements and a lot of things you can watch. So check that out.
What day does it start? Do you know?
The 12th, I believe.
Okay, so maybe we'll
Thursday?
get the reveal for the Switch Fit or whatever that is on that day.
Yeah, that's
At-
true.
at
I guess
TGS.
it'll be there. I don't know, or at the same time.
Yeah. I imagine it probably would be.
Yeah, the craziest news that I heard from Tokyo Game Show, non-Switch related, was Hideo Kojima said that there's going to be a 40-minute trailer
4
for
hours,
Death Stranding.
right? Or
Yeah.
40 minutes.
40-minute. Yeah.
But in some
Exciting.
crazy
Yeah, it's
amount
pretty
of
cool.
information. But isn't that game, like, they haven't said much about that game yet? So.
Yeah, other than saying there's like a baby you carry around.
You can
can
rock
pee.
the baby by moving the DualShock controller around.
And you can pee.
Just like
and you
one,
can
two
pee in
switch.
it. Yeah. I can't wait to pee and hold a baby, dude. That's what I've always wanted to do in video games, is pee and hold a baby. And now my dreams are coming true. I just wish it was coming to the Switch.
So that
But one more thing before we
Yeah, yeah.
move
Let's-
on.
let's
There's
one
something
more
I
thing.
forgot to add to the show notes. And this might interest you, and maybe you already know about it, Becky. But the new Celeste free expansion was released, I think, today. Which
just
is
downloaded
Tuesday.
it.
Yeah, you did?
I haven't played it yet, though.
Yeah, so I know you were a big Celeste fan.
Oh,
Becky.
I love
did
that
you
game.
did you ever beat the game, or?
Yeah, I finished it.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get many of the mixtapes.
Yeah, those are hard
Those
as
are
fuck.
very
And it's-
difficult.
Yeah.
it's my understanding this update is of that caliber too. Like
Yeah, it's like even
it's
harder.
recommended that you have beaten the C-sides before you play this new stuff. So that's partly I'm like, nah.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
It's free.
It's worth
free.
it.
It's got some new mechanics apparently too, but the difficulty sounds incredibly hard.
If it's anything like Matt Thorson's Super Mario Maker levels, it's going to be hard as fuck.
I think it's going to be hard as fuck.
Yeah, I think so too. But we should stream that or
Does
something.
that come with like new music or?
I think so. Yeah. It's like a full expansion to the game.
I didn't know, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
get on it.
that's out today. So download that if you're a Celeste head.
Yeah. So the big news that happened that we're going to talk about for our main subject is, well, I'm sorry. I might require an edit here. Are we taking a break here?
And we're back.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the major news from the week, which for us was the Nintendo Direct that was held on September 4th. It was said to be 40 minutes of focusing on Nintendo Switch games in 2019, including Luigi's Mansion 3 and Pokemon Sword and Shield. The Luigi's Mansion 3 thing was a lie, y'all. They talked about it for like 1 minute.
Well, you on the last episode, you were like, they're going to talk for like 10 minutes about Luigi's Mansion 3.
Well, I feel like whenever they say a specific game, it's often that they have a big chunk of it to it. But this time it was just a misdirect. I feel like they should have said Animal Crossing. Yeah. They talked about that for an ungodly amount of time. It felt like.
It was a decent chunk of the Direct.
We'll get to all that. So I guess before we kind of go through it, how'd y'all feel about the Nintendo Direct?
I mean, I watched it.
I watched it.
So that's something.
Enthusiastic.
I mean, there's a lot of things going on with the whole, what is it, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo Switch Online
Nailed
stuff. So that for me was like the high point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
I think for me as well. Well, I think there were a bunch of high points. Like, me personally, I love this Direct. I thought this was better than the E3 Direct, as far as I'm concerned. I think this is my favorite Direct they've done this year, and really in a while. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was like, it just kind of hit all the buttons I really wanted it to hit. Like you were saying, this was like kind of a Direct for me and Matt, right? And so I really enjoyed it. I know some people were kind of meh on it, but I guess it's like, if you're not into some of these games, like if you're not like a Deadly Premonition fan, maybe you're not going to enjoy this Direct. But what about you, Matt? What were your like overall impressions?
Shadow drop of Banjo was wild.
Yeah, that was so cool.
A HD remake of Xenoblade is fucking tight.
Yeah.
With like new music.
If you had to give it like an out of 10 score, what would you give it?
I would say 9 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
You give it a 9 out of 10?
Yeah,
I would also give it a 9 out of 10. What about you, Patrick?
7.
7. Becky?
9.5.
Whoa! And you're the one who just
wow,
watched
you guys
it.
really like this. I feel like that's really interesting to me. Let's kind of go through it then.
Yeah, let's break it down.
So it opened with Overwatch. I felt like a lot of stuff in this Direct was leaked, and that detracted from it. And so there weren't any huge surprises. And there were some, but
there were definitely some.
But and the ones that were there just didn't speak to me personally. But that's okay. Anyway, so it opens with Overwatch going to the Switch.
Overwatch. We all knew it was coming.
Right.
I've never played Overwatch, and maybe to your last point, Overwatch doesn't like speak to me.
Right.
I wasn't like stoked about that.
Sure.
But I know people who are in Switch heads were like, "Oh man, I would love to play Overwatch. Wherever I am."
Yeah. I want to play it. I've never played it.
And I think I'm glad it's on the Switch. I think that's cool. I think it should be. And it's coming soon, too. It's coming October 15th, which I remember seeing a leak of that like early on when it first started getting leaked and thinking that can't be true. But anyway, because like that's when Witcher 3 is coming out.
But, it's coming out the same day.
But it's the same day.
Yeah.
So many games.
Well, I just wanted to add that I think Overwatch has a really big PC gamer community. Now that it's on a Switch, it kind of changes the game, a little bit for audiences. Definitely has me interested in looking into it, particularly because there are so many fan people. I was going to say fanboys, but
fan
girls,
humans.
Fan heads.
Yeah, fan heads. Super fan heads.
But I never really had an interest in Overwatch. But now that it's on Switch, like I said, accessibility matters to me.
Yeah.
So
I think that there's going to be a lot of people that. There's a lot of people that own Switches that like have never owned a PS4, an Xbox, or a PC, right? And I think this is for them mainly. But it's also, I know a lot of people are going to like double or triple dip on this game now that it's coming out for the Switch. So it's kind of exciting. I can't wait to play a more expensive Paladins.
And probably a better one.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. This is cool. I just want to say before we move on from Overwatch, I feel like this was very publicly leaked by that case that came out beforehand that was on Amazon.
Yes.
And I feel like this was going to be their closer. But then because it was leaked, they moved it to the front.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm offended.
That's my...
On behalf of all Xenoblade fans.
I feel like they were going to open with Xenoblade, right? And that they were going to close with Overwatch. And have it be like a big surprise.
I think based on the music of Xenoblade, of how they premiered it, it's more like somber opening.
Yeah.
And it might be a weird choice to end with Xenoblade.
Well,
to support your.
Yeah. Well, I'll call up Doug Bowser and see what he says about that.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah. No, he's on my speed dial.
So after the Overwatch opening, Shinya Takahashi comes out to be our guide for the Nintendo Direct. And we get into Luigi's Mansion 3 right away. They show off some new floor themes, and in particular, then they show off a new competitive, like, local mode where you can play as 4 Luigis versus 4 Guigis. So that looks cool.
That's pretty hype.
I think it's cool that there's more modes. But then they moved on quickly. I was like, oh, I really thought they would do more on that.
I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is looking better and better with every single bit that we're seeing about it.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
I would say, for me personally, I think that might be my most excited game for the rest of the year.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Nintendo game.
Are you a big like Luigi fan?
I am, yeah.
Patrick, are you a big
I'm a big
Luigi
Mario.
fan?
I'm a big Luigi.
Are you excited about Luigi's Mansion?
I'm not that excited about it, but I mean, like you said, it does look good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll play it.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to be a Luigi.
Yeah, I would prefer to play as Luigi than Luigi because I've played as Luigi enough.
I'm partly excited because my wife's out of town on Halloween, so like I am going to pick up this game, and then I'll take my kid out trick or treating.
Yeah, I was going to ask. You're going to take him out, right?
He and I are going to come home after that and eat candy and play this game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Grab a couple Go-Gurts, play as Luigi.
And then they announced a new free-to-start Kirby game, Super Kirby Clash, where you and 3 other Kirbys can fight against a bunch of bosses from the Kirby games. I know Lee Howson's been playing that too. I saw on
I haven't talked to him about it.
I'm curious if he liked it or not. We'll have to ask him.
I think I said this during our hype video. It looks like Mega Man had an arcade game called Mega Man Power Battles, and all you do is fight bosses as different Mega Man characters, Bass and some other people, Proto Man.
That's coming to that Capcom plug-and-play system, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that giant arcade control. Yeah. That just says Capcom. But it reminded me, Super Kirby Clash reminded me of Mega Man Power Battles, where you are just Kirby's and you fight bosses.
Have any of you played this yet? Because it did Shadow Drop. That was the Shadow Drop number
that's
1.
Right. It was available after the Direct or the same day.
I downloaded it, but I've not played it yet.
Becky?
It just doesn't appeal to me.
We are not the experts.
No, it doesn't look fun. Also, for my money, I'm not a big boss rush guy. I've never liked.
Yeah.
I mean, I like bosses in games when it's like at the end of a long trial and tribulation of a level or whatever. But then whenever it's just bosses, I get pretty bored. So we'll see. I mean, fucking maybe it's good.
Yeah. Then they
that's the commentary y'all look for.
Maybe it's good. Then they showed
professional Nintendo YouTubers.
They showed off the Trials of Mana remake, and that's available April 24th, 2020. We didn't have a date for that yet. That looks pretty good, honestly. I might play that depending on what's going on in April 24th of 2020. I'd never. Obviously, that was a game that didn't come to the West, right? Or
no.
Originally,
yeah.
And then now they're doing this remake as well.
What is it? Sensen? I'm going to cut that out. But yeah, a lot of just big old anime boobies in this trailer. I don't know if you guys noticed.
It did have a
now I remember it.
Yeah,
it did have a lot of cleavage.
It had really cool hairstyles and really big anime boobies. Yes. That's all I remembered from this trailer. But I hear this is an incredible game, and it looks a lot like Dragon Quest XI, the graphic style.
Yeah, it kind of has Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, kind of vibes.
Yeah, Dragon Ball vibes.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are very excited for that. I did. I went to a Best Buy recently for the first time in a while. Shop at Best Buy. That's a little callback. And almost every Switch game was sold out except for Trials of Mana, or excuse me, the Secret of Mana collection. There were like a shit ton of copies there. Nobody's buying that. There were a shit ton of copies of Astral Chain, so I guess nobody's buying that either. And
Best Buy's stock is weird. I've been into a Best Buy before, and the games they have physically there, it's bizarre.
Yeah, there was like nothing other than these like few games. Oh, and then Spyro Reignited Trilogy was there as well. Those are the only Switch games they had on sale.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Let's judge the entire retail industry off
Seriously,
one Best Buy in Austin, Texas.
I went there with Sasha and I left, and I was like, you know what? I think it's okay if Amazon kills Best Buy. I was like, fuck Best Buy. I did not enjoy myself in this Best Buy.
It feels weird. Like I went into the one in Pflugerville with my kid to buy him a controller at some point a few months ago, and they just had a weird bunch of games there. Like it was a lot of the like games that have limited physical releases, and you're like, what are these games?
Yeah,
you know?
Very odd. A ton of just 3DS games still, too. And no CDs. There are no more CDs there. That was sad.
Anyway,
let's keep talking about Best Buy, Patrick.
Yeah.
The return of the Obra Dinn was the next game announced for fall of 2019, which is right now or soon. I had no idea what this game was, but you two in the reaction video were super excited about it.
I think we talked about this back in May when the developer of this game, Return of the Obra Dinn, like kind of said we might have something in store.
Right.
Or
and we're like, is that a Switch release?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no memory of that, and I still don't know what this game is. It's in like sort of Game Boy-ish looking graphics.
Yeah, it's like
what did you say?
It's like dithered. It's like the whole thing is dithered graphics. Very much. It looks like the whole game was shot with a Game Boy camera.
That's what you said. Yeah.
And
but it has sort of black and white kind of.
Yeah, I've heard nothing nice.
Sorry.
I've heard.
Oh, I've seen gameplay. Now, it's a mystery.
Yeah, it's like a mystery that takes place on a ship.
Dang, those graphics look amazing.
I know. I think it looks incredible, and I've heard nothing but amazing things about this game. Like it was like an indie darling from last year. Like I know it was like on the top of a lot of people's Game of the Year lists. And I wanted to buy it, but my gaming PC is so like out of date at this point that I haven't been buying games on my PC. Maybe if you make some PC building
heck yeah
tutorials, maybe I'll build one. But yeah, I'm just so stoked to have this on the Switch. It looks like it's a perfect fit, and I'm going to be picking this up.
Yeah, I'm always excited to play a different type of game, and this is like a mystery walking simulator, kind of similar to like a puzzle game that's similar to The Witness.
Right. But I think it's a lot more like conversation and like decision based than those kinds of games. Like there's actually people around that you can talk to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it looks like a ton of fun, and unique gameplay experiences. We're always looking for stuff like that.
And after this, we got a really important Switch Headz announcement. Little Town Hero.
Oh boy.
Not only did they give the official name of Little Town Hero, but they gave us a release date. They told us some about the battles, and then one other big piece of news that Toby Fox did is doing most or all of the music.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Matt,
cool.
how excited were you?
It's so weird because I've been making this joke for a whole year.
Like, and you felt nothing? Is that what you're saying?
It's weird because there's a part of me that doesn't want it to come out because you just joke. Because I enjoy,
and it's coming so soon. It's going to ruin the joke.
It's right. It's going to come out, and it looks okay.
No, but then you can look forward to Town 2, dude.
2s are always the best, right?
Yeah, right. Like Empire Strikes Back is better than Star Wars. Terminator 2. Toy Story 2. Let's stop this train of thought. So an October release date for. It's October, right?
October 16th.
Yeah, the day after Overwatch and The Witcher come out.
Yeah.
So just this year is so insane.
Yeah, they're packing October.
Yeah. But I did not see that coming out this soon.
No, me either.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't mentioned it since February or whatever.
Yeah. The gameplay looks so weird. Like
they said you fight with ideas.
You fight with ideas.
But then they also
do you remember that?
But then they also show actual
crying.
attacks, so it was unclear. And then they're like, you move around the town to get other people to help you out.
Yeah,
it seemed interesting.
I just enjoy the fact that Patrick, you're like, you fight with ideas.
It just was confusing because that's also not what he's doing in the trailer. He seems to be swinging something or like
it's an idea stick, Patrick.
Yeah,
come on.
No, I'm just so confused by this game.
Right.
For multiple reasons. One, I didn't think it was coming out.
Yeah, you thought it was just an ethereal joke.
Yeah, I thought I could joke about this forever, and I'm kind of upset I can't joke about it forever.
Well, have you pre-ordered it yet?
Yeah, I pre-ordered it.
You did?
Hell yeah, yes, I did.
Get that shit preloaded, baby.
There are a couple things that worry me. One, I don't know what the gameplay is.
Yes.
There's so many menus.
Yeah, lots of like little bubbles.
Yeah.
That you have to pick between. I guess those are idea bubbles.
Also, like, do you get the impression that this is a short experience?
Yeah,
maybe
it's gotta be.
And I get that impression because it's like a $20, $30 game.
Yeah, it's a budget title,
and it's coming out now, like, or you know what I mean, like right before Pokemon, and like they're obviously not putting a bunch of advertising money behind this.
That's what worries me.
This seems like this was somebody who worked at Game Freak. Was like, hey, I have an idea, and then like said it as a bit, and then like
the mad of Game Freak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were like, oh, wouldn't this be funny if you fought with ideas? And they were like, oh yeah, go ahead, yeah, you can make that. And then he came back 2 months later and like had a finished game, and they're like, what?
But what about the Toby Fox thing? Like,
that's pretty tight.
That's interesting.
You know, what if it becomes like this great cult type of game where there's just this like fighting going on with like thoughts.
Becky, you're speaking my language.
I think the Toby Fox thing is interesting, especially because last week Leaf was on the show, and I was like,
and he was saying that he doesn't think they get along with Nintendo, but after this direct, they are buddy.
Well, no, I was like, Nintendo loves Toby Fox, dude. Toby Fox is like their boy, and he was like, oh yeah, I don't think I even like want Sans and Smash. And
we will get to that.
Needless to say, anyway. But yeah, Toby Fox is all over now. Apparently, Toby Fox. I know we should probably talk about this in the end part, but I'm just going to say it now. Like Toby Fox and Masahiro Sakurai are like BFFs, and like Sakurai like drove Toby Fox home like in his own car, like. And they just like hung out at his house.
He lives in Japan now, right? Is my understanding. Toby Fox.
Oh, I guess so.
That's my understanding. So, which is why I think there's all these things happening.
Right.
All these crossovers are happening.
Anyway, that's cool. I mean, that's got to be a dream come true, right? You're like a Nintendo fan, an Earthbound fan, and now you're just like embraced by the company you love so much.
Yeah.
Little Town Hero, October 16th, and I can't wait until we do an entire episode about Little Town Hero.
We're gonna be doing a fucking town episode. We are.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna skip over.
And it's only gonna be Matt. It's gonna be just a soliloquy from Matt about town.
I'm going to write some music.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on, because we've been talking about this well. Then we got into some Smash Ultimate news, and this is, for me, was the most exciting part of the Direct. We got told that Banjo-Kazooie is releasing today, and that they're going to do another like live stream type thing that like Sakurai did for the Hero after the Direct. And then we get some... We don't know what's happening, but they show this sort of timeline of all of the Nintendo systems, and they go all the way back to like Game & Watch and the NES, and then kind of and then go back to the Super Nintendo and cut over to the Neo Geo. Any thoughts on why they did this? Do you think that was just a kind of a fun thing, or is that
because it's a Neo Geo SNK,
right?
Yeah.
But I was just like, it was kind of an interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
And then they show this other trailer of all these SNK fighters missing the Smash invitation. A bunch of people I don't really know. A few of them I think I did.
Fighters from Art of Fighting,
Samurai
World
Showdown,
Heroes,
King of Fighters, Fatal Fury, and all that kind of stuff. And it was basically all because whenever the SNK leak came out, like pretty much everybody was speculating, other than Terry. Was in that opening, like missing the Smash ballot,
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And then
it was great too. It was like done in that style of like the pixel art arcade openings. You know what I mean? Like it was awesome.
Even had the Neo Geo beginning. Intro.
I legit thought we were going to get a Neo Turf Masters rep. I love Neo Turf Masters.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Such a good game.
Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury gets the invite, and it says now in development November, so we can expect Terry in Smash in November. But then the really kind of unexpected thing, because that was also leaked, was that they say there are more fighters being developed after the Fighters Pass. And that was super exciting to me.
Yeah, that's great.
I just love that this game is going to have 100 fucking characters in it by the time it's done, it feels like.
Probably. I mean...
and then it's going to be supported for that long,
I mean, do you think they're going to do another Fighters Pass? Like another Season Pass?
Speaking of future episodes, I think we could do an episode on speculation about this, too.
We should, yeah.
But I think they might. I think whatever they do, whether it's 3 or 5, they'll have a package version as well as individual purchasing.
Yeah, that would make sense. Definitely, yeah. I mean, like, Smash has done incredibly for Nintendo. You know what I mean? And I think they're like... it must be that every time they put out a new fighter, just way more people buy the game. You know what I mean? And so they're just like, we got to keep doing this forever. And Sakurai said, like, in the last thing, let's go ahead and just say it now. Like, he was like, I'm never going to, like, Smash will never be like this ever again. You know what I mean? So he was like, we might as well make it the biggest fucking game ever.
And if they want the Switch to last for a long time, and this will be the Smash game for a long time, right? And,
yeah.
And why not keep adding to it? But like somebody else pointed out, by the time this is all said and done, we're gonna have all spent like $100 on this game.
Yeah. I pretty much already have. Yeah. If you put in like controllers and a GameCube adapter,
right, and maybe more than that when you get the
exactly.
Ethernet adapter.
I want to say, were you gonna say something?
Oh no, I bought into the Fighter Pass thing too.
Yeah,
like, and I kind of want to get more controllers. I get more people involved in my game.
Yeah. I want to say that I think it's cool that Terry is the newest fighter, because I feel like every fighter they've put out has been like for a region. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like Banjo is clearly like for US and the West, basically. King of Fighters and Fatal Fury is like huge in Latin America and in Mexico. Like that's like basically SNK was just like huge in Mexico, right? So I feel like that's like for the Latin territories, right? Yeah. So it's cool. And then, obviously Dragon Quest is, for Japan and Asia. So it's just kind of cool to see all these different subsets of Nintendo fans all kind of getting like a pick for their region. I think it's cool.
And I think that's what's cool about them announcing more fighters too, is then you can feel like, oh, I don't really care who the next person is as much. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of pressure on the last one. And the fifth character to be a big, good character, but not everybody's going to love it.
All right, Gut Instinct. Who's going to be the last fighter? Gut Instinct.
Resident Evil.
Okay.
The first idea that came to mind was Cruis'n USA representation.
All right, I'm gonna go with Doom Guy. What about you?
I don't know.
Hell yeah!
I mean, I think it's gonna be like a dinosaur.
Hell yeah! It could be the T-Rex from Mario Odyssey.
Or what's the fighting game with the dinosaurs on?
Oh,
Tekken?
No. Primal Fury.
Primal Fury.
Yeah.
Primal Rage.
Primal Rage.
Yeah.
A Primal Rage.
You mixed up Fatal.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I actually like Doom Guy as the possibility. Too.
Yeah. That's
reasonable. You're saying Cruis'n USA doesn't.
I would love to play as Car from Cruis'n USA.
Yeah, it's like when they did the Daytona car in Fighting Vipers.
Ooh, I want Bill Clinton from Cruis'n USA to be in Smash.
Let's do the Clinton, yeah.
They should make a president's fighting game. We should move on.
Like they have that one with like gods and goddesses. Or
yeah. Just the Hall of Presidents.
So real quick, I wanted to mention that this is sort of a news article that came out that Steve Mails, I think is how you say his name, one of the guys that helped create, or one of the original creators of Banjo, has been saying that they really need to like remaster the Banjo games, given all this interest, and then use that to maybe gauge interest in a new Banjo game. So
those would sell like fucking hotcakes.
Yes.
Those would sell so well. If Spyro and Crash have been like multiple million sellers, like Banjo would sell like crazy.
So then we go back to Takahashi, and he leads us into some Link's Awakening stuff. Mostly stuff we know, but we do learn that you're going to be able to save your dungeon creations on an amiibo to take them to other people's houses, which I guess is cool, but it also means that maybe that's the only way to do it.
It's the most practical way to share data in 2019.
So that's a bit of a bummer if you can't like upload it online so your friends can see your dungeons, but oh well. We get a reminder about Dragon Quest XI. There's some sort of free DLC. That game's coming on September 27th. And then this one was the Wii U port that I did not expect. Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Sharp FE Encore.
Yeah, Sharp.
Yeah.
Not
hashtag FE.
It's kind of in italics to make it clear.
Yeah, it's like it's like,
because it's music.
Yeah, it's music.
I did not know anything about this game. I just knew the name.
David, you know about this game.
Yeah, I haven't played this game, but this was a game that came out for the Wii U, and it is a Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem crossover where basically you play as like a pop idol in Tokyo.
Because that's what both those games are
about. Right. But you play as a pop idol in Tokyo, and your persona are Fire Emblem characters. Like your personas are Fire Emblem characters that you like bring into the ring. Because Shin Megami Tensei, it's kind of like Pokemon, where you like summon people very much. It's in the Persona universe, right? So it's like you summon like old Fire Emblem characters basically as your summons.
It looks crazy.
It's very odd, and it's like it's got kind of musical stuff, and it's got a weird like battle system.
It was so weird that they ported this and not like Mario 3D World or something.
That'll still come.
It also makes me feel like any major Wii U game that can be ported that's left is going to be.
Yeah.
If they're going to port this.
I mean, you've got Pikmin, you've got Mario 3D World,
unless
and you've
there's
got
a sequel or something coming.
Right. Yeah, and you've got Wonderful 101. And
yeah,
those
I
are
think
pretty
that
much
we're going to expect. I think we could expect those.
Yeah, for sure. This is cool though. I mean, I didn't pick it up the first time. I might pick it up this time. I mean, I'm not now that I think it's going to do way better now that Three Houses is a huge hit.
That's true too. And it's coming January 17th, which is I think our only out of. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think of all the announcements in this Direct, that's the only specific January Nintendo first party game.
I think this is going to be their January release.
Yeah. I was expecting more January through March Nintendo games be announced, but anyway.
It took Town's spot.
Moving on.
Be still my heart.
Town was just ready, and they were like, we can't wait anymore.
Deadly Premonition 2 was announced for 2020. Which is like a weird cult game based on Twin Peaks that I know very little about. And then they shadow dropped Deadly Premonition Origins. Or somebody looks like they want to say something.
No, I mean, it looked kind of ridiculous after seeing what, the gameplay is like.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have like these odd scenarios happening. I don't know if it's actually a mystery game. I mean, I know it's horror.
It's like kind of a mystery. It's very apparently the developers of this game, because it was like a 360 game originally, right? And I think the developers of this game is a Japanese like indie studio, and they just started out by making a Twin Peaks game. They just were making a game about Twin Peaks, and then realized halfway through that there was no way they would be able to get the rights to Twin Peaks, so they just made it their own thing. But it basically is like Twin Peaks the game.
From what I hear, it's very polarizing. People love it or hate it.
Yeah, I think
Brian?
IGN US gave it a 2 out of 10, and then IGN UK gave it like an 8 out of 10.
And like Brian Bonnet on our group, on Switch Headz group, is like singing its praises. And then I also hear when I'm watching some of the like direct commentary and reactions from YouTubers, people are like, that game is terrible. Why is that even being brought over? So
I think it's just like you're talking about cult games earlier,
exactly.
Becky. Yeah. It's like very much like a weird cult hit. It's like a game to play just because it's fucking bonkers and weird and unique, like, which is something you're also looking for. So
I'm
I think
very into weird and unique.
I'm gonna play it. We should all play it.
We should all play it. We should all play it together. But yeah, it's cool that that's out, and I think Deadly Premonition 2 is going to be a Switch exclusive, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I do not know. That could be.
Yeah, so that was probably the second biggest. That's probably the biggest what the fuck moment of this entire Direct.
I thought the Tokyo Mirage second sessions was a little bit of that too. It's like, y'all chose that?
Yeah.
But
I think my personal biggest what the fuck moment is coming out. And we'll talk about this in a second.
Divinity Original Sin 2 got announced, which is a game I've heard a fair amount about on PC. And I think one thing that's kind of cool about that is another shadow drop. There's a bunch of that. Like, I think they did an amazing job of like 10 games or things came out the day of this or the next day, but is that it's going to have shared saves between Switch and Steam.
That's cool.
I don't know that any game has that.
I think there are little things like that of having shared saves between Steam and Switch, and shadow drops and Banjo and Little Town Hero that tells me that this Direct was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to end this conversation.
No.
Saying, in the middle of it.
That's my whole thing too.
Like we're not even like halfway through talking about the yeah.
We better hurry up.
But I just like from a high level, like there's these weird games announced in a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, it's like all great third party stuff.
A lot of third party stuff, yeah. A lot of like
I think it's fucking tight.
Big PC games and stuff, and so then after this was probably a big one for you, David. Another reason I thought of you is they had a message from Bethesda, and like Pete Hines from Bethesda comes out and announces Doom 64 is coming out November 22nd, again, pretty soon. And explain why this is a big deal.
Doom 64 is a game that came out for the PlayStation. No, I'm just kidding. Doom 64 is a game that came out for the Nintendo 64, and it was an original game. It's not like a port of Doom. Like, it's a whole brand new game that came out for the N64 and then just never has been re-released ever. And so this is the first time that it's going to be re-released. And it's being done by the studio that did the recent Turok remasters. So, it's going to run really well. And, I'm really excited. I think it looks great. It's coming out the same day as Doom Eternal, which is an interesting,
that is interesting.
An interesting strategy there. But yeah, I'm going to be picking this up for sure. I think it looks great. I love classic Doom. So yeah, I'm going to be getting this game.
They announced Rogue Company, which is like a new IP from Hi-Rez coming in 2020. It's like a player versus PvP multiplayer online game, kind of a looter shooter or something.
Looks kind of like Overwatch, honestly.
Yeah. Then we come back to Takahashi, and he tells us that we're going to hear some about Sword and Shield. So we get a lot of Pokemon information, and they like number off. There's 4 new pieces of information. You can customize your look. And so they have like a cool character creation thing there where you can change hairstyles and
put on sweet clothes.
Yeah. Then they say there's
humoring me, my dumb joke.
There's Pokemon Camp where you can get a feather tickler and tickle your Pokemon.
You can French tickle your Pokemon.
That was really cute, you guys.
It was very erotic.
And I guess you can visit your friends' Pokemon camps, and you can
tickle your friends' Pokemon as well.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
the game does not discriminate on what Pokemon you can and cannot tickle.
Yeah, you can tickle a Poltegeist, as they demonstrated. We'll get into that. Then they said curry on rice. And that's a thing in the game?
They're just like being like, okay, this game is based in London, so what are things that are in London? Like curry is really big in England.
French ticklers.
Yeah, French. Of course. Yeah, that's you always tickle the royal guards. You know what I mean? That's kind of where that comes from. But yeah, they're just doing every single British stereotype in this game.
And then there was a announcement of some new Pokemon, in particular Poltegeist, which is a great pun, I guess.
Incredible pun.
Top-notch pun.
You can drink that Pokemon. They said you can drink it.
Oh, they said it.
Yeah, they said
it's like a ghost in a teapot. And that's all there is to say.
You can tickle it and then drink it.
And there's a Cramorant, which is like a bird that can
It's my favorite one.
You like that one?
It can spit
I don't play
fish.
Pokemon, but I like it. Yeah.
It has the attack gulp missile, which I think is pretty sweet. I think that's what it was called.
The gulp missile.
So one thing to point out here is that back in May, there was like a 4chan leak of a bunch of Pokemon information that has continued. Every announcement from Pokemon, it has been correct. And there's a few things still left in that that they haven't shown. Most of it has come out by now, but if you're curious about that, go look it up. If you want to have some more Pokemon news that they're trickling out to us spoiled for you.
I just want to see those fucking evolutions, dude.
I just want to find a Pokemon that can fight with ideas.
I want to eat and drink all the Pokemon.
So next was the announcement, Becky, you said you're most excited about, which was the Nintendo Switch Online I said it backwards.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo Entertainment System Nintendo Switch Online app is coming. Available today, or available the next day, I guess it was, but that was still pretty soon. And it's same price. They aren't upping the price. We had that debate.
Unless you live in Japan.
Which technically not till October.
Yeah.
Right now, you're cool.
Yeah, right now you're cool. Get them while they last.
But this is really cool. There's Stunt Race FX was kind of a big thing they talked about because I guess that's never been released in the US.
But for good reason.
What's the good reason?
It's just a bad
It's
game.
not very good. So that's not exciting then. And then they're going to have a similar, like to the Nintendo, the NES controller, they'll have a SNES controller you can buy.
You've been playing any of these already, Becky?
No. I've just been so like busy with other things.
Yeah.
I do want to play Super Metroid.
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna get on that. I haven't played a Mario game in a long time, so I'm gonna play that.
Yeah. Mario World
It's such
is
a
like
good game.
if there's one must-play game on this list, it's Super Mario World.
Super
Man,
Nintendo.
that's tough. Link to the Past.
I mean, yeah, Link to the
Link
Past.
to the
Super
Past.
Metroid. There's a lot of really cool games in
I think
this.
there's like 10 of the greatest games ever made are in this list.
And to that point, like they said that I forget who got this information out of Nintendo, but they said they're not going to release more games on any sort of regular schedule. And the speculation is because there aren't that many more first-party games to release. Like, there's a handful more of Nintendo first-party Super Nintendo games. And I'm sure
there's
they'll
a
be
decent amount, but it's like if
they
we're
won't
already
be able
seeing
to roll out 3.
I mean, we're already
every
seeing
month.
Square games, we're already seeing Capcom games, we're already seeing Data East games. It's like, and Jaleco games, there's already a number of those. So it's like, there's no absence of games to put on this thing. Like, in fact, I'd love to see Super Nintendo Aladdin come out on this. You know what I mean?
But I think the reason the thing is a lot of those games are owned by companies that see the value of those that probably aren't going to broker deal, and that they're releasing a lot of those games on collections, right? Like of for sale, like Aladdin, for example, is coming out.
But that's not coming out in that collection. only the Genesis
right. Sorry, the Genesis.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
Fair point.
And I mean, Demon's Crest and Breath of Fire are 2 Capcom games that are in this. So it's like it's definitely. I think we'll be seeing. I don't think we're going to be seeing any Mega Man games because those are already out in the collection. You know what I mean? But I think that we'll be seeing a lot of third-party support.
There's a lot of great third-party games out there, and hopefully a lot of them will come. But in terms of first-party stuff, there's not a ton left.
Either way, I've been playing the shit out of these Super Nintendo games already. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You already get into Mario Kart?
Actually, that's one that I haven't played yet because I've been waiting to play that with my brother. Because you can play these games online, which is awesome.
Yes.
That's what's so cool.
Yeah. And Super Nintendo games have just aged way better than NES games, so I'm very excited to play some of these online.
I immediately fired up F-Zero and was disappointed there's no bounty hunting.
It's just I quit this podcast.
We were just watching 2 kids in a big coat, Twitch streamers, Chaz and Chris, the head and the legs. They were just playing Joe and Mac 2.
Yes, I loved Joe and Mac back in the day.
Yeah, that's a fun game. Very hard, but fun. What was I going to say? I was going to say one more thing about this. Oh yeah, something that they added into this that they also retroactively added into Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo Switch Online, is the ability to finally turn off those fucking control symbols at the bottom of the thing. So now you can play these games like relatively clearly. There's still people that are pissed off that there's that gradient in the background. They just want it to be black, but whatever. I like the gradient. So that's exciting. You can stream it and it will look pretty now.
And then hopefully the one thing there's really, in my mind, missing is remapping buttons. But whatever.
Lightning round. Gut reaction. What SNES game do you want that isn't on there?
Donkey Kong Country. Yes.
Yeah, that was your pick as well, right?
The same one.
Yeah. I think it would be really nice if they put out Donkey Kong Country 2 before the first one because we got Donkey Kong Country 1 on the SNES Mini, but we didn't get any of the other ones. So I would love to see DKC 2. Also, obviously, let's all say it together. 1, 2, 3, Chrono Trigger.
That's not going to happen.
No.
You think that's not going to happen?
No way. I don't think there's going to be.
That's what everyone wants, though.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be anything close to that.
I really hope they either put Final Fantasy VI on here or they just release a Final Fantasy 1 through 6 collection, which I would buy.
I don't
Man,
think
let's be honest. It's going to be a
either.
16-bit remake of Cruis'n USA.
Yes.
All right, so
go ahead. When user interface feedback, I wanted to go to the NES app to play the SNES games.
You just want one app?
Yeah, I just want one app that allows me to select the systems from one menu.
Oh, really? So I kind of like that they're different apps.
Do you really?
Yeah. Because it's like you're playing on a different system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's all smoke and mirrors. Just let me go to one place to then select it.
I can see the argument for that.
Either way, this is the hypest announcement, or it would have been the hypest announcement, but the next announcement was actually the
next announcement was Tetris 99 2.0.
Yes!
Available also the day after. So this had like a winners only Invictus mode, which I will never see.
Yeah, me either.
I've been almost exclusively playing.
Is it
Invictus
a lot
mode.
harder?
It's way fucking harder. Yeah. It's awesome because it's harder for people that have been playing Tetris 99 and win all the time, like me, because I'm amazing at the game. I'm just kidding. But not really. But
just get to the fucking point.
I have not won Invictus yet. I've not.
What happens when you do that?
I don't know.
Switch just explode.
I think I would just come. But I think that I think it's great for 2 reasons. A, the people that have been playing can now have like a more challenging version that's like better for them, and B, it splits the player base.
Yes.
So the people that are worse at the game aren't. Like
I have a better chance of actually getting
their
Invictus
asses kicked
mode.
by people that are like amazing at the game because they're all playing Invictus. You know what I mean? So that's great. Also, I've been playing this nonstop since it came out, pretty much, because they added like daily challenges and they added all these new themes you can unlock, and I'm just
like icons for your instead of just a box.
Yeah, it's
or
like
whatever.
achievements now. Yeah, and I'm totally addicted. It like breathed tons of new life into the game.
That's great.
Yeah, it's great. I even bought the Big Block DLC.
Oh, really?
So I can. Yeah, because half of the daily challenges are locked behind like offline single player content. It was very smart of them. It totally got me to pay $10 for marathon Tetris, which I already had
just
in
being able to play
Tetris.
But now it's all in one app, as Matt pointed out, which is really important.
Yeah, but but it's not like they're different. All right, listen. Either way, I'm so glad they did this. It's Tetris 99 finally feels kind of like a full feature complete game now, which is really great.
The second part of the DLC came out, and they're also having physical copies that are coming out as well, which comes with the online. So it's actually not a bad deal to get
it's $30. It's the price of
the DLC,
a year's subscription and the DLC, and you get it physically.
So then they reminded us about Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo Olympics, which is coming out November 5th. And in particular, the weird thing here was there's a story mode based on the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. I don't know how that works, but
that was a really great Olympics. I remember watching it live.
And then we get Daemon X Machina, another demo. I thought this was going to happen at E3, but it's now happening instead, like several days before the game comes out.
Yeah.
So I haven't, and apparently like some demos now, your progress can carry over to the actual game. So that's cool. I guess that's good. I think that's a smart move because, you know, a lot of people were kind of down on the previous demo. Sounds like, I have not played it, but it sounds like people like this one better.
Yeah, I have also not played it, but everything I hear is that they've like fixed most of the issues that people had with the game.
So that's good. And hopefully that will get people to actually buy it.
I doubt it though.
That game seems really stuck in between a bunch of other releases.
Yeah, and they're also like just not advertising this game.
It's a very niche game, so that might be why like people who are excited about it are going to get it. I don't know. We'll see.
Marvelous is also like copyright striking like people putting any gameplay videos on YouTube.
Which is weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so it's like, dude, if any game needs the free advertising, it's this game because it's a huge game and it's like, and it's looking pretty good now. But it's like, nobody's allowed to post anything about it. And so it's like, are you trying to kill this game? What's going on?
Yeah, anyway. Then Star Wars Jedi Knights 2 is coming out September 24th. Another fucking September release. It's an old game.
Jedi Outcast. This game is incredible.
Yeah.
This is probably the best Star Wars game. It's in the top 3 Star Wars games.
This announcement was the most surprising announcement.
This is just a re-release, right? It's not like a remaster or anything.
Well, it's a remaster.
It is?
Yeah, they're like up. It's not a remake. It's a remaster, right? They're like upscaling it.
When did this game come out?
Originally, I think it was 2003, maybe.
Yeah, maybe sometime between.
It was like GameCube era. I played it on PC.
I also played it on PC.
Yeah.
I like played this game a lot because it had incredible PC mod support.
Yes, and where you could actually like dismember people with your lightsaber. I hope they patch that into the Switch version.
There was a mod for PC called, I think, Knights of the Force. And some guy like worked on it for like 4 or 5 years and then disappeared for several years and people are pissed. And then he came back and released like a beta version of it.
That's so funny.
Thank you.
Been waiting to throw that one out there.
I agree with you. I was like, what? When this was announced.
I have a lot of memories with this game, like playing for this game, and I posted on Jedi Knight 2 message boards.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude. I wasn't that big of a nerd. But
I fucking was, bruh.
Yeah, this game was so fun. Like, it had really satisfying, like, lightsaber combat. Just the way that you could control your lightsaber was like nothing we'd seen in a game up to this point. Had a really good sequel, which is also coming to PlayStation and Switch. It wasn't in the Direct, but that's going to be coming out next year, I believe. So it's cool. And this is also, this and Star Wars Pinball, which comes out this month, are the first 2 Star Wars games to appear on the Switch. And so it's kind of, you know, I'm not sure exactly who owns the rights to this. I don't think that it is EA. I think that these rights belong, I guess, just to Disney, right, at this point, because they own Lucasfilm at this point. So it's like, I just think it's cool. I think I'd love to see like KOTOR and like other Star Wars games. I'd love to see a Rogue Squadron collection come to the Switch. You know
I just want to see more Kyle Katarn, dude.
Yeah.
Let's see a mashup of Kyle Katarn and Dash Rendar from Shadows of the Empire.
Dude. They should really Shadows
They're both
of the
bounty
Empire.
hunters.
Yeah, they are.
You know that?
Yeah, they both
F-Zero
drive
racers?
F-Zero cars. Yeah, fuck it, man.
So
the
the Direct then gets into like a quasi sizzle reel and then a sizzle reel. So there's a lot of games here.
Just run through them fast.
I'll just run through them. Witcher 3. If there's anything you want to say about any of this, interrupt me. Assassin's Creed Collection, Rebel Collection.
Okay, I'm into that.
Black Flag and
I want to play
Rogue.
Black Flag.
And then Dauntless. We get Just Dance 2020, Grid Autosport, Farming Simulator 20, Ni no Kuni, Wrath of White Witch, NBA 2K20, Call of Cthulhu, The Outer Worlds, Devil May Cry 2, which I don't know if they had announced that yet.
No, this was a reveal that it was coming.
Coming September 19th.
David, didn't you, in our video, you were like, isn't that the worst one?
It is. After I said that, I looked it up. It's the worst one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then Vampire with a Y, which is a game that came out on other platforms last year, maybe didn't do too well.
Out of these, the best looking ones are Outer Worlds and Ni no Kuni. Ni no Kuni is coming out the same day as Zelda and the Switch Lite
and Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah. And then
September's
Outer Worlds
fucking packed. It's ridiculous.
It's unbelievable how many games are coming out.
Becky, what do you think about this?
I'm more interested in Call of Cthulhu.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it may not be super fun, but I actually really like the story, so I'll do that. But I mean, like you said, Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. Yeah, that one looked pretty interesting in the direct too. I don't know anything about it, so
it's a Studio Ghibli. Didn't they do the animations and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
They like teamed up with them, and then it's the Factor 5. Wait, no, Factor 5 makes Rogue Squadron. It's what are they called? Hold on, just give me a fucking second.
Family Force 5.
But I mean, Farming Simulator I've seen gameplay of, and that one looks pretty cool. I mean, I definitely want to ride around on a tractor.
Level 5.
Oh, okay.
Level 5 created Ni no Kuni, same people who do like Professor Layton.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not joking about Farming Simulator though.
You and my son can play that. Every time we go to the store and there's a physical copy, he's like, that game. I'm like, no.
Yeah, you should just hang out with Patrick's baby son.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I've never played a farming simulator game. Are they like? Have you played them before, or is it just something that interests you?
It's just something that interests me. I mean, what's it like being a farmer, you guys? Like, you know, you gotta bales of hay.
Yeah.
You know, tractors.
You're pitching it.
Pickup trucks, wheatgrass in your mouth. You know, like
yeah. I want hay in my mouth.
Yeah,
I hear they're really big in Europe, like in Germany in particular, I think.
Germans are so weird.
Anyway,
rude.
Sorry if you're from Germany.
Yeah, you're fine.
The direct then moved on to Animal Crossing New Horizons, reminding us about this, and it was a 5 or 6 minutes where they showed off a lot of the same stuff they showed off at E3, so it was kind of weird.
They even said that at the beginning. They're like, we already showed you all this stuff, but here, look at it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I looked at it again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to walk away. Yeah,
Between that and Tokyo Mirage Sessions, it makes me think that there's nothing coming in February from Nintendo. Like,
I think that's where we'll get Pikmin and Mario.
I don't think they're coming in the first few months, though, is what I mean. Like, do you think so?
I mean, they could.
Possibly.
I mean, we're going to have a January Direct. It's probably going to drop some games for February.
We'll see. So there's nothing really to talk about there, I don't feel like. They didn't show anything new, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's just looking. I mean, it's already looking better than the build from E3. Like the graphics are looking really nice, and this game, it's just they showed off. They really did. They've shown a lot of stuff already, but they really did show off a ton of features, right? And I think this game already seems feature complete. You know what I mean? And it's like not coming out until March.
They did show that you can take a picture of you and your 7 other people playing on one island or whatever. That seems.
I mean, the couch co-op and the sharing island stuff is awesome, and I cannot wait for this game.
And then we had our final thing, which was Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. How did you feel about this, Max? Didn't you just replay that game?
Well, I started playing a couple weeks ago, and as soon as I saw this announced, I was like, I guess I'll wait.
Because that one looks a lot prettier.
Yeah, it totally does.
This looks like a full-on remaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The updated graphics and stuff.
I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles has incredible music. Like, I would say, David, you and I talked about the Chrono Cross soundtrack. Mm-hmm. Xenoblade Chronicles has an equivalent, as good a soundtrack as Chrono Cross.
I think it has one of the same composers as well.
Oh, it might. Yeah. There's like 3 composers on the soundtrack. Music's really good. Story's pretty good.
Yeah. They have like quasi-Australian accents.
Yeah. Space Australia, dude.
Yeah, Space Australia. Just a little side note about Xenoblade Chronicles. My friend Harrison Atkins and I, we wrote a movie called Everything is a Night when we were in high school. And it was basically a movie that like, it was just kind of this like, you know, subtle like character drama between these like, you know, like teens. And, but the whole caveat of the movie is that like at the end of the movie, it zooms out and the whole movie had taken place on the armor of a knight who's like locked in battle, basically. Like that was the idea for our movie. And then Xenoblade Chronicles, that's just like the story of that game.
Yeah.
We were like, oh fuck.
Yeah. You're on the bodies of Bionis and Mechonis.
Yeah. These like two giant like dudes locked in battle, and you're just like, the whole thing takes place on their armor, which I think is really cool.
Mm-hmm. What do you
Basically, I wrote Xenoblade Chronicles.
What do y'all think about Xenoblade Chronicles? I know I'm the resident Xenoblade fan.
Well, it makes me feel like I need to finish and beat the second one so I can play the first one. Which is a really weird thing to say. But I bought this Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and I liked it, but I just kind of put it away for something. I think I'm ready to come back to it.
Yeah. I think Xenoblade Chronicles, this definitive edition, is a better entry-level Xenoblade game.
Oh, really?
I would imagine so,
Yeah, because 2 is like bonkers wild. Some of the combat system took me like 15 hours to understand.
So I started Xenoblade Chronicles back in the day. I actually pirated this game, which is an interesting thing because, there's the Nintendo cops. Xenoblade Chronicles was, I think, the most pirated Wii game. Because when it released, you could only buy it in GameStop, and it was in very limited quantity. And actually, fans had to fight for it to be released in the West. It was actually
it's like Project Rainbow or something.
Yeah, because it was released in Europe, but it wasn't coming out in the States. And then basically a whole bunch of people like put together this petition in order to like get it out. And then eventually Nintendo did release it, but it was with like a exclusivity clause with GameStop, right? So it was really, really hard to find if you lived in the United States. And so a ton of people just pirated this game, and I was among them. And I started it, and I did not like it. I think like basically that's when I realized that like this style of game and like Monster Hunter, which I feel like has very similar combat and like exploration, those kind of games just like aren't for me.
Yeah.
But that having been said, I'll buy this game.
You'll buy any game.
Yeah, I really will.
And they go from not releasing in the West to closing out a direct with it. There you go.
Yeah, an interesting choice to close the direct with a remake of a Wii game. That's been remade already before.
It's the power of the Monado.
Yeah, you're really feeling it.
So immediately following the direct, they had the Sakurai's Banjo showcase. There were some funny moments early on. He talked about how he was recording this just 2 days after the Hero, which makes us realize that they announced the Hero image at the same time. They must have sort of done an East-West thing there, right? Like we want to please everybody, and they came out pretty close together. And he showed off him playing with 2 controllers at once. That was really fascinating.
That'll do a number on his arthritis.
Yeah. He was in a good jovial mood. He was making a lot of jokes.
Yeah, he said at the beginning, he was like, some of you might not know who Banjo is, but if you want to play Banjo-Kazooie, you can play it on Xbox One.
And the way he said it, he was pretty.
And everybody in the background was like laughing. Yeah.
It's like that part of the deal for getting banjos. They have to promote Xbox. And then he showed off Banjo and kind of talked about all the background stuff. It's all amazing. The stage that he built for that is so cool.
Yeah, and he was really like into showing off like all the little background details. Yeah, like what's her name? What's Banjo's like sister's name? Is it
Tootie?
Tootie. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he showed Tootie and he like was talking about her soul.
Well, so I read about this. He said about all the little side characters there, how they're poor souls. But apparently, and so people were like, "Does that mean is he hinting at like a Dark Souls character being the next thing?" It's really weird. But apparently, it was like the translation is like they just said poor.
He's like a poor. They're poor people.
I think it just like. Yeah.
Are they sad?
Yes, I think that's what he's kind of saying, or poor, but they translated it as poor.
Either
souls.
way, it's an odd choice to describe.
It was weird. Characters. It was weird.
Poor as in lesser characters?
I think he means more like sad because of the state of like what happens in the game, and like and then what happens when it in a what's the continue screen or whatever 2D. I never played that game. So.
Yeah, he's like she's very sad at the end, and it's very emotional. Sakurai's losing it.
And he made the joke about like there's gonna be more fighters. The end of this just keeps getting pushed out for me.
He said at one point, he's like, maybe one day I'll make another game.
He is just really feisty. It was kind of funny. And then they showed a little bit of brief footage of Terry, and then the thing that everybody seemed most excited about from all of this, where they announced some Mii costumes, including a Sans from Undertale me
That's
costume.
correct. Have you guys seen the footage from the Nintendo store in New York?
When that happens?
Yeah.
No, I should
So every time there's a direct, fanboys like go into the Nintendo World Store in New York and they watch it there, and they always post like reactions from it. And the reaction to Sans being in Smash was fucking extraordinary.
I love Sans.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
Yeah.
I love Undertale.
Yeah,
so,
he's a great character.
Yeah, I just couldn't contain myself.
I've never played Undertale, so the idea or the culture behind Undertale I don't understand. Can you like give an equivalent of maybe like a...
I mean, they're comedy, like they're comedic relief in Undertale. So there's the main plot, but then you have the side plot with these two skeletons who are having these like kind of, I don't know, you could call it, I don't know what to call it, but like they kind of like talk to each other about how they're trying to stop this child who's the main character of the game from moving forward, but they're always having these disagreements.
Yeah.
So
very like Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, it's like Sans, and I think the other character's name is Papyrus. Typeface stuff.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's just a really fun thing to include in a Smash game, especially that it's a gunner, and I didn't really know that he had like a skull on his hand.
Yeah, I think they might have added that for Smash just because they had to make him one of the Mii fighter types.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm not a huge. When I got Smash for the Switch, it was the first time I'd actually bought it for myself.
Right.
So, yeah, kind of getting to know all of the fighting characters was interesting for me.
Yeah.
And then seeing that Sans is actually like this particular style, it makes me want to like, move toward that, fighting style.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
There's like sword people, there's, there's brawlers, and then there's like the gunners, which I think Samus is one.
Yeah, they're all kind of like based on Samus, I think, like with the arm cannons or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, Sans is out for 75 cents. And the cool thing about Sans is that it comes with a song, too. I think it's Megalomania or whatever that song is from Undertale. And Toby Fox like did this version of the song, which is really cool.
And this is where Sakurai talked about like meeting up with Toby Fox, and he kind of hints that Toby Fox is better at Smash than him.
Yeah.
He's like,
that's funny.
like, we played and it was pretty even.
They're
He
BFF.
was crushing on Toby Fox.
I know. I think that they are in love. Yes. Sakurai and Fox. But there are some other cool Mii fighters as well, like fucking Mega Man, Zero and Proto Man, or
Yes,
Proto Man.
Yeah.
Team Rocket.
Yeah, Team Rocket. So there's some cool stuff in there for sure. Some of those are definitely worth dropping 75 cents on.
And that was it. That was a long presentation. The unexpected Smash release and that little banjo showcase. So yeah.
So that is what we're excited about.
Any final thoughts on that? Yeah.
I'm excited to learn about the new DLC fighters.
Yeah.
If we learn one probably in November when Terry comes out, and then in January maybe we'll get another one.
Yeah,
cool. A lot of stuff to look forward to.
I would be really curious how many they do. That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
How many they announce at least, if they do, or if it'll be just kind of trickling out.
Becky, what was your kind of like hypest announcement from this trailer?
I'm gonna go with Sans.
Yeah.
I think it was just kind of out of left field. I mean, I kind of figured when they mentioned Toby Fox doing music for was that favorite game of yours?
Little Town Hero.
Little Town. Yeah.
That's right. It's my favorite game.
I don't know what to call it. But yeah, I kind of, it didn't come out of left field after I saw his name because I knew that he was the guy who kind of made the whole thing.
Right.
But I was, excited to see what, how people would react to that. Because Undertale's not really well known, I guess. But I really enjoyed playing it. So
you talk about a cold hit. Undertale is a cold hit for sure.
What about you, David? What was your biggest thing?
Honestly, it was SNES for me, but it was also, it was like the 1-2 punch of SNES going into Tetris 99. Cause I'm like really a big fan of that game. Like it's, at some point it will be my most played game on the Switch. I know it will be. And, just knowing that I could play that game and have it be fresh for a long time coming was really exciting for me. And Jedi Outcast, of course.
Matt, what about you?
Man, the most surprising is Jedi Outcast. The super surprising is Little Town Hero.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think my sleeper hit is going to be Mario and Sonic at Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah, that looks good.
I love button mashing track and field games. Mm-hmm. There's an arcade game called Hyper Athlete that my friends and I played throughout college. And this looks very similar. Might scratch that itch. So I'm excited to play the 2D version of Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah, it looks really fun.
For me, it was just adding more fighters to Smash. I think that was the thing I was most excited about.
That's what makes it a 7 out of 10 for you, baby.
Yeah. Patrick, you would have liked play styles from Mario Maker?
Oh, yeah. I was disappointed there was no Mario Maker news.
Yeah. I think that'll be a Twitter direct.
I'll be fine because I still think that it's coming, so I'm not upset about it, but I was happy. I was hoping to see it.
Hell yeah. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next segment because this has gone on too long.
So we're going to talk about what we've been playing this week or recently. And Becky, do you want to start us off as our esteemed guest? What video games have you been playing recently?
Generally or on the Switch?
Any kind of game.
Okay, so I was telling David that I just finished building my PC, which I'm just going to keep on gloating about. But I bought on Steam Telling Lies, which is a full motion video game.
Oh, cool.
You basically, kind of do a report on a mystery, kind of like a mystery. I think mysteries are kind of my thing right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a guy that looks like Tom Hardy on it. So I just enjoy
boom.
So it's got some eye candy.
He's pretty.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the acting is really good too. It's not like your regular like a quick time type of FMV, which is what people are used to. Mm-hmm. I mean, you kind of do like the search through this database. You kind of like watch videos of people talking to each other like on video chat.
Oh, okay.
And you kind of like work through what the hell happened to all of them. So that's what I've been trying to play in between like all the other stuff.
So it's like Unfriended the video game.
Yeah. Yeah, but a little bit more about like police and like, government things.
Cool.
I don't know how.
What was the name of that again?
Telling Lies.
Telling Lies.
That sounds really awesome.
Yeah, the same people that made that, and I can't remember their name, made another one called Her Story.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, so this one's like fairly new. And so I wanted to try it, and so that's what I've been playing.
David, did you say you heard about that? Her Story?
Yes, I found about it. I don't know what I'm saying. I guess I'll go next. I've just been playing, I kind of said both of these things already, but I've been playing just a shit ton of Super Nintendo games. I've been playing a lot of that Joe and Mac game. Is that what it's called?
Joe and Mac 2.
Yeah, that's right. And then, Mario World and Pilot Wings. Been playing the shit out of Pilot Wings, y'all. I fucking love that game. I'll play that game like any day. Like I'll just play it all the time.
Name a day and David will play.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go with Tuesday because that's today. I think what else am I playing? Tetris 99. I've already unlocked one theme. I have one more challenge to do today to unlock my second theme.
That's why we got to wrap up here.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's just like every day I just like unlock 4 things and then I just wait until I can unlock a new theme. I love playing with new themes. And Invictus is really fun. And I can't wait to get back into that, and I can't wait to beat Invictus because I will. God damn it. And then lastly, this past weekend, me and my girlfriend made some pretty big progress into Fire Emblem, and just Saturday was basically just all day we played Fire Emblem.
Do you know what chapter you're on?
I don't know what number it is, but we finished the Battle of the Eagle and the Lion.
Okay, yes.
And we're now moving on to, I'm not sure what the next chapter is, but we're like in that month, basically going into the next thing.
I know where you are.
Yeah. Is that, how far am I, did you say? I'm probably not that far.
A third, maybe?
Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Yeah. We're like 30 hours into the game.
Yeah.
So, and just having a blast. And, she's still better than I am at the game. I kill my kids all the time. And then she like turns back time and is like, let me do this. Just having a really great time with that game. We're trying really, really hard to recruit Felix, and he just won't join our team, and it's very frustrating.
Just spam gifts.
Really? Is that how you do it? Well, if I give him an owl feather, will he join me?
Give him whatever.
Really?
Give him any gifts, and then invite him to join you on the monthly missions.
Right. Yeah. Well, I've done that twice now, and I like looked it up on Google, and I've been like increasing my speed and my sword, and I'm trying to like get him to like me.
I wouldn't try to do the route to like increase your stats to get them.
Yeah, because that takes forever.
Yeah, I would focus on just giving them gifts and inviting them on missions, and then just be patient, and eventually he'll ask to join.
Really? Should I take him to tea?
Sure, that too. Okay. Anything that ups support.
Okay.
Do you know what's going on? I have no idea. No fucking clue.
Sounds like fun.
Listen to Optimal Pairing coming out this Saturday. What were you going to say, Becky?
I mean, it sounds like a great game.
I
should piggyback off that because all I've been playing are the same things. I've been playing Smash and Mario Maker and Fire Emblem, and I'm closing in on finishing out my first playthrough of Fire Emblem.
Nice. You think you're going to play it again?
Yes, I'm going to take a break and maybe switch over to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or something else in my backlog, but I'm going to play through again because it's really you can tell how much of the story you're missing, but I also know that because Austin and I have talked a lot about it. And I'm like, "Oh, that's what that was in my playthrough." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Very good. What about you, Matt?
My Halo crew came into Austin.
Nice.
So we landed up. We had a LAN party.
Nice.
Played Halo 5 for many hours.
Very good.
And that felt good. But like I was in high school and college again, yelling at each other and telling each other we suck. And also encouraging each other. We do that too.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's what it's ultimately about.
Yeah.
You're adults now.
We also did an escape room, which was really tight.
Oh, cool. That's a game.
It is a game. And had a secret compartment, and that was really cool. And then I'm on file 6 of Astral Chain.
Okay, I was wondering if any of us have continued to play Astral Chain. I'm glad
I have. And unlocked more of the legions, and like it's so fun.
Did you figure out what cleaning or bathing your legions does?
No.
Are you still bathing them?
No. Every time, yes, I'm still bathing my legions.
They put out a little short trailer that showed bathing of the legions like today or yesterday.
Yeah, but what does it do?
The bathing of the legions sounds like the running of the bulls.
It talked about it in the trailer, but it wasn't clear if it actually matters or not.
Yeah, but I still bathe them.
It sounds like an apocalyptic event.
Yeah.
The
bathing of the legions.
You have to bathe the legions before you offer the sacrificial.
Or you go to hell.
Well, my legions are clean.
Very good. I'm glad to hear it. Well, that just about does it for the show, ladies and gentlemen. Becky, thank you so much for being on the show today.
You.
You're a fantastic guest. Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. You guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you very much.
Awesome.
You're the one that's awesome. Oh, look at that.
Thanks to Corduroy for the music.
Yes, thank you, Corduroy, for the music.
Thanks, everybody listening. Go out, give us a 5-star review on iTunes
Pretty
or Apple
please.
Podcasts.
Yeah, we've got our website. It's nearing completion. The construction is almost over. We're just clearing out the excess rubble and the rebar. And we've got, you can find us on Twitter at Switch Headz. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Super Switch Headz. Join our Facebook group. It's called Switch Headz, just without the super, and it's in all caps.
That's where the action is.
That's where the action is. But thank you, everybody, so much for listening. This has been a long episode. If you listened to the end, we thank you. You're our number one fan. We got a very fun topic for you next week, regardless of what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We love you very much. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.